Hello there, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me today. I do hope you're well. Here we are back in our Asia themed zoo. This is Ziran Zoo. In our last episode we put in this lovely enclosure in here for our Formosian bears. Is it Formosian? Have I said the right thing? Formosan? Hang on, let me find a bear and I'll find out. I don't want to name them the wrong thing, do I? I don't know where they are at the moment. Where have our bears disappeared to? You wouldn't think it'd be that hard to find a bear, would you? Oh, here's a couple. There we go. I always get their names wrong. Formosan. There's no I in it. Formosan black bears. Yes, so they had this lovely big enclosure built. I was very pleased with how this one turned out. Today, excuse me, we are moving over here to this area here. Now this is, again, I have not done any landscaping here. This is completely done by the computer. And look at this. It's built me a cave. It's lovely. I mean, that's just crying out for an animal to go and live in it. And all of this land here, I mean, it's just a lovely looking formation. You've got areas here that are just crying out for a bit of water to go in. So that's what we are going to be working on today, and there are going to be elephants going into here. Indian elephants, to be precise. And obviously a pathway just coming through here and around the back here, and then linking up over here. So that's today's project, and it's turned out quite nicely, I think. As always with most of my videos, I have done all of this already. It's a completely finished project already, and I'm now going back and doing my commentaries. So yeah, I think it's turned out really nice. It's a pretty straightforward enclosure, as a lot of these are. There's not too much going on in these, so I appreciate that some of these videos are maybe a little bit sort of samey, because it is a very natural zoo. That's kind of what I want in this zoo. I want it to look very natural. Not I don't want the habitats to look overdeveloped and over designed. They're really just, the animals are just living in the natural environment. There's going to be the odd building and the odd bit of structure work done for pathways and that sort of thing, and then you know, we'll have some structures out and about, you know, in areas out here. So wherever there's not a habitat, I will be doing some structures, restaurants and stuff like that, but the habitats themselves I want to keep pretty straightforward and natural looking. So there we go, that's today's episode. So let's move on, shall we, and see what I get up to first. Right, so you can see I've done quite a lot of work with the pathways. I've created a kind of a double pathway system all along here. So my thinking here is that I want to fill in all of these gaps here with buildings, so restaurants, cafes, toilets, that kind of thing. So that's why I've done that. I think that looks pretty cool. It certainly will do once it's all filled in anyway. The habitat, obviously I've put the fencing in, and then the pathway comes around here. I've actually brought the pathway in as well. I was originally going to do it right the way out here, but actually I thought it'd be a bit more interesting to have it going on some of this rough terrain. You know, just to try and keep it looking a bit more natural and varied. And so the pathway goes at all sorts of jaunty angles all the way around here, up and down little slopes all over the place, which I kind of like. And then again, just round the back there, links back in over there. And that's kind of it. So that's our main structure. I've also put water in over here where I said. So I just had to manipulate the ground a little bit here, just to I had to raise the land just a little bit around this edge here to get a proper little pond in there. And then I've just done a little one up here as well, just to give the elephants an option of where they go dipping in the water. In fact, eventually I think I do put one around the back here as well somewhere. Can't remember. I think in this dip here I end up putting another little bit of water in here as well, to try and encourage the animals around here, which is always the problem when you have a large habitat like this. I've discovered that the animals tend to just, you know, wherever the door is, in this case the door is over here, they tend to come in and just sort of hang around here. So they'll go to the first bit of water, and they'll go to their bed, which is obviously in here. And no matter how many enrichment items you put over here, it takes them a long time to sort of start disappearing over to the other end of the habitat. So eventually what I do in here is I do put some water in, and actually I think I put in another cave in here as well, so with some more bedding in as well, just to try and encourage the elephants to go over there. So yeah, there we go. That's our structure. Our habitat is now in. You can see how big it's going to be. It's massive, isn't it? It's Just pretty much the same size as the tiger enclosure. Obviously elephants are very big animals, so they need quite a lot of space. So there's certainly no issue in giving them too much room. They do like to roam. I mean, in the wild, they will roam over hundreds of square kilometers. Elephants, they cover a huge distance, especially when they're after water. They remember routes to water sources, and they can wander for hundreds of kilometers to find a water source. Very, very clever and resourceful animals. Ours won't have to go quite that far because they have a nice pond just there. They're not going to have to go gallivanting through the deserts or whatever to find water, are they? Right. Okay. So let's move on, and I think I do a bit of path work, I believe, next. So let me load that up, and we'll take a look. Look, we have some elephants in our enclosure now. We have some males and some females. Let's just check. I can't quite remember how many there are. What did I put in here? 8. So we have, what is it, 4 and 4, I think? Hang on, that's, yeah, 4 males and 4 females in there. You can see they're quite different, actually, the males and the females. Considerably different sizes. Oh, look at that. I've never seen one actually do that animation before. That's very cool, isn't it? Picking up some dust and throwing it over itself. Look, that's doing it over there as well. That's cool. That's a nice animation that I'd not noticed before. Of course, they do that in real life when they're living out in hot conditions. They do that to essentially just sort of protect themselves from the sun. You know, give themselves a coating of sort of sun protection on their skin. It's very similar. Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent here. Very similar to pigs. A lot of people think that pigs are very dirty animals because they roll around in mud, but actually they do that because they burn in the sun very easily. Pigs, their sun is very sensitive. Their skin is very sensitive to the sun. So actually, what they're doing when they cover themselves in mud is actually essentially applying sun cream so that they don't get burnt by the sun. There we go. That's why pigs roll around in the dirt. If you knew that already, well done. If you didn't, there you go. You learned something new today. Anyway, what have I been up to in this section? I just put in a little bit of pathway. So what I decided, because obviously all of the habitats so far have just been a ring of pathway around the habitat for people to look at the animals. Now I wanted something a bit different in this enclosure, mainly because elephants, I knew that the elephants would gather around this water hole. And really from down here back at the pathway, you really can't see that water at all. So I decided I wanted to create a pathway coming up here, and then this raised platform here where people could come along and actually just sit and stand on here and look at the animals up close in their natural environment. And yeah, so this is what I came up with. Obviously there's a lot more work to do on it to make it look good, but that was the basic principle of this, was just a platform where people can watch the elephants. They have a slightly better view of their cave up here. You've got the little water hole and then the big water hole, and most of the elephants do spend their time around this water hole eventually. Once they've worked out all the different sort of traversable areas and that, they mostly spend their time around there anyway. Look at this one, he's having a little snooze here in the sun. Very cool. This one over here is having some dinner. Amazing detail on these animals. I mean, look at their skin. Look how close you can get to that, and it still looks so detailed. It's really, really good. And their tusks as well, fantastic. And their eyes. Oh, hang on. Sorry, Mr. Elephant, just disappeared through your head there. Their eyes. Let me just pause and see if I can get up close to their eyeballs. Look at that. It's very hard to get so close, but yeah, look at that. No, it's really hard. Here we go. Are we there? Are we there? Okay, that's probably as close as I'm going to get. Look at that detail. Look at the reflection you can see in his eyes. Really, really impressive detail. Let me just get them back into motion. Yeah, so there we go. So it's very basic. I just wanted to show you that. So that was sort of the only structure in the whole thing, really. I can't remember actually the finished product. I can't remember if I put in a couple of shelters elsewhere possibly as well. I think I do. Actually, I think I do something over the other side, and possibly something down here as a shelter. But this is the only change that I make to the pathways. So I wanted to show you that and explain why I've done that. Right, so let's move on. Right, so here you can see I've just done some detailing on this pathway now. So starting down here, a couple of pillars just to hide the fence, and I decided to get rid of the barrier up the side. It just didn't look right having this same metal barrier coming up here. I wanted to really make this pathway bit stand out. So I just put this very simple log fence down the side until such a point where the elephants are able to sort of pass underneath the pathway there. Just a little bit of decoration down each side with some foliage as well, just to make it look a bit nice. So I think that's quite realistic that they would have some things planted under here, just to stop the elephants sort of nosing around in there, and it just makes it all look a bit nicer as well. It's a bit overgrown, so that was my thinking there. And then I created this small shelter. So I put one on this flat piece here, and it's got this sort of motif on the floor as well. It's very simple, just you know, just this what is this, like a wall piece, isn't it? And I've just put it flat on the ground and made it into a pattern there. And then I've just used that again up here. You can see I've just about judged it right, so the elephants can actually walk right underneath this pathway, which is good. So yeah, so you've got 4 of these shelters along the top here, a couple of bins and some benches, even a couple of picnic benches as well, thinking people could bring their lunch up here and sit down, actually have their dinner here. I mean, it'd be lovely, wouldn't it, to sit down here and eat your lunch and look around there and see an Indian elephant just having a sit down. It'd be great, wouldn't it? It'd be a lovely little place to sit down. You get a really lovely view from here. See, you've got an elephant swimming over here, you've got them coming out of their cave up here, you've got the hills here. So it's yeah, it's a really nice little place. Also just gave it a few simple block stone supports as legs. I didn't want to build this up at all under here. I wanted the elephants to be able to come right up and underneath the pathway. So I've just given it the bare minimum of supports that looks realistic, so it actually looks like it is a sturdy structure. This bit over here is pretty cool. You could actually, in real life, the elephants could come right up to here, couldn't they, and actually lean over the edge, which I kind of like. Elephants aren't particularly dangerous. They're very friendly creatures. The males can be when they are, well, essentially when they're horny. I think they call it must or musk. I'm not sure. There is a name for it, and basically it's when their hormones start playing up, the males, and they need to breed, and they can become very aggressive towards other males, even towards females, towards humans, towards anything basically. But generally they are very friendly creatures, and very gentle considering their size and how much damage they could cause. They are generally very, very gentle creatures. They'll be aggressive, though certainly females will be aggressive when they're protecting their young, which is completely understandable. That is true in most species, of course. So yeah, you know, most zoos that I've been to, they have elephant feeding experiences. It's very easy to feed them by hand. You just hold food out on your flat of your palm, and the elephants will happily take food out of your hand. So yeah, I don't see any problem with having a bit over here where the elephants could get nice and close to the people. I think that'd be a fun thing to do. So there we go. So that is our little platform done. I mean, I can't remember if I do any more. I will have a look at my next save point. I think I might put some lights or something on possibly, or if I haven't, I maybe should have done. But you know, it's very simple. It doesn't need any more than that. It is just a simple walkway and a platform, and sort of an observation area basically. So there we go. That's that bit done. Let's move on to the next point and see what I do next. Oh look, it's feeding time for the elephants. I love that they all gather around when the zookeeper's walk in. And they keep an eye on him and see exactly what he's putting in, and they'll come along straight away afterwards and start using all the enrichment food items. Let's have a look. Is this little girl going to have a go at this one? I think she is. What's she going to get out? I love that. It's a great animation, that. There we go. She's got some lovely straw. What about this one? Is someone going to use this? Look at all that lovely food up there. It's waiting. Is someone going to come and have a go? He's thinking about it. No, he's not going to, is he? He's not hungry enough. Okay, so what have I done? Not too much this time. I just wanted to show you a bit of my thinking here. I've put some enrichment items down around here. Obviously, this is the observation area where people can get up close, so I wanted plenty of food enrichment items around here. And I've also just created a small mud bath area over here. The elephants love these little mud baths. Oh look, this one's getting a good bit of use, isn't it? Oh, the graphics go pretty funky on this one when they use it. Let's have a look, see if it works. That looks really good, actually. How that's adjusted to that bit of landscaping there. Yeah, I'm very impressed with how they the animation changes when they're actually standing on the slopes. It does look pretty good. Let's have a look. How does this one look? That looks pretty good, actually. Sometimes this can get really funky when they hit it, and it flips around up the top and all sorts. But actually, that's looking okay, isn't it? What are they getting out of that? Just a bit of straw. Lovely. I think they've increased that animation as well. That straw. I actually see them pick it up in their trunks, which is really cool. Don't remember seeing that actually happen before. Could be wrong. It has been known. So anyway, so we got all the different food enrichments around here. I've got a tyre over here as well. But yeah, these little mud bars, they love using these. As you can see, that's had 2 uses, 3 uses. No uses on that one yet. I'm pretty sure they can get into that other one. Yes, they can. It's very tricky because I want to try and blend these in, but obviously they're on a slope here as well. It's not very easy to make it all blend together. So this is what I've come up with, which is just some simple rock work around it. Obviously, it's not meant to look real, like natural real. It's just an area for them to come along and have a play in the mud. And here we go. Right on schedule. She's having a good play. Actually, she looks like she's covered in mud already. Is she going to roll around in it, do we think? I think so. Look at that. That's a happy elephant, isn't it? Plonk down in the mud. Obviously, I need to do a landscape painting here because you've got grass growing all around it all. But yeah, the main structure's in place, which is what matters. There we go. Oh, look, we got one down in the bottom as well. Lovely. Look at that. Oh, they're lovely animals, aren't they, elephants? Never met anyone that didn't like elephants. Gentle giants, that's what they are. So again, I purposely obviously have done that over here so people could stand up on this observation platform and watch the elephants have a bit of a mud bath. Yeah, there we go. Pretty simple and straightforward. As I said, this whole habitat is pretty simple and straightforward. There's not too much going on. I think next save point I probably do some work over the other side here, but let's take a look, shall we? Oh, the elephants just keep on coming in. We have 14 elephants now in this habitat. I felt that it was too big a habitat for 8 elephants, so I've upped it to 14. You know, elephants can live in very big families, so there's no issue in having many more of them. So what I've done on here, I've done a little bit of extra rock work around this, just a little bit, just to sort of make it look a little bit more natural. It's not going to look natural because obviously it's not a natural formation, but yeah, just a few little rocks here and there just to make it look a bit nicer. And then lots and lots of enrichment, so all around the outside here. I'll just scoot around, I'll just fly around the whole habitat and you can see exactly where stuff is. So even up on here, so you've got the elephants do come right up onto this top area. We have a few enrichment items up here, including a food thingy over there and a food thingy here. We've got food thingy here. I've got a little bit of water in here. We have another little pond in here and various enrichment items. We've also put another little mud bath area over here. Someone's kicked a football into it, which is fine. And again, this has got a little bit of extra rock work as well. It's quite tricky, this one, because it's on quite a steep slope, so I had to use a lot more rock work to make it look decent, but that does. I like that. That's good. Then coming around here, just lots of enrichment, just to try and encourage all the animals to come right over to this part of the habitat, and again, just all down the side here as well. And like I say, there's many more of them in here now, and as they start spreading out, it means that you do end up with elephants everywhere basically, which is what you want in a big habitat like this. Let's have a look at this little dude swimming, shall we? Who are we looking at here? Rushil, a male, and you're hungry. Yeah, they often get hungry, and I think the problem I have is that they just move so slowly because they're elephants ultimately, and they don't do a lot of running. So whenever the keeper comes in and feeds them, they end up it just takes them ages basically to walk to where the food is. So they get hungry because they're having to walk a long way, which is a bit silly, but you know, I've got animal welfare turned off. It's not a problem. It's just part of the game, unfortunately, and obviously it's realistic because the animals are very slow moving. So yeah, it's really not the end of the world. But it's much nicer having many more of them in here. I think it looks much nicer, especially once the habitat's finished and it's all full of trees and stuff as well. It does look much nicer when there's a lot more animals in here. You know, if you were visiting, you would want to be able to walk around over here and hopefully see an elephant rather than have just a couple of them in here that you never get to see. So the more animals you can put into a habitat like this, the better, really, from the game point of view, anyway. I mean, as it is, there's still nobody over this side. I think they do get there over there eventually. You see, this one is up here because this food thing, I think. Yeah, so this has got some food in it, so obviously they're up here using that. Yeah, there we go. Right, so I think probably the last couple of segments, I think I do some more work over here. You have to forgive me, it's been a while since I actually built this, and I can't quite remember, but I'm pretty sure I do some sort of shelter over this somewhere, maybe right over the mud. I can't quite remember, possibly even over the water. I really can't remember. I'll have to load up my next save point, won't I, and find out. So let me do that now, and well, we'll both take a look together. And here we have our finished habitat. So there's quite a lot to show you, mainly trees, I'll be honest, but let's have a look here first. So this is around the back end of the habitat where I built this small mud bath. And I did indeed put a shelter in here. Very simple design again, using the same type of roof and the edges to the roof, and these lovely brick pieces, stone pieces, sorry, I should say, on the sides here. I love these, the way they fan out at the bottom. It looks really, really nice. And it's just a little shelter for the elephants. Look at them. Happy elephant, that's what I like to see. Having to lie down on a nice bed of straw under there. It's a bit awkward with this straw. I don't like how the bedding works in the game very much, I'll be honest. It's really tricky because as soon as you put it down, it flattens the land around it, which isn't always what you want. It'd be nice to have the option of doing that, or even just putting it on at an angle, but there we go, it is what it is. So yeah, very simple design for a shelter there, but it's always nice to give the elephants somewhere to lie, which is outdoors, but also under shelter. And various bits of bush work done, as you can see, around the mud bath as well. Just some basic foliage put around just to make it look a bit prettier and all sort of natural and blended in. And then lots of little bushes here and there. Again, not too much, but enough that it's you know, it's obvious that it's there, and you know, it just makes the whole thing look a little bit nice. Oh look, she's coming and playing a little bit of football now as well, and having a mud bath. Oh, we've got a big male coming along here. Look, where's this ball going to end up? Have we got a little... Yeah, we've got a little man coming in for a mud bath now as well, I think. Maybe this is his girlfriend. And he's thinking, ooh, hello, we can have a little mud bath together. That'd be nice. How romantic. Anyway, I have also put in another cave up here. Again, very simple, just carved out a cave, put some lights and some bedding in. Really simple, a couple of bushes around the entrance there. And as you can see, our elephants do go in. Avi, the elephant here, is heading in for a little mid-afternoon snooze. Lovely. And trees. So what have I used as trees? Oak trees. Are they all oak trees? I think there might be, you know. I think I did mostly go with oak. I've tried to keep the theming a little bit different for each area with regards to trees. Otherwise, the entire zoo would just look too similar. So yes, I went with oak trees because they remind me of elephants in a way. Oak trees because they you know, they're ancient. They're they're very wise creatures of nature. I think an oak tree is very similar to the elephant. You know, oak trees are hundreds of years old, and I don't know. They just look like they're watching and judging, and you know, they're very wise creatures. Yeah, I'm a big believer in trees as they are living creatures essentially. They may not be intelligent in the way that we look at it, but you know, they're just as alive as the rest of us. Is an elephant having a swim over here? I think they're thinking about it, aren't they? Yeah, not quite, just having a drink. So yes, so that's about it really. Lots of foliage, lots of trees. I've done a little bit of paint work as well, just painting some sort of bald, worn areas around where the enrichment items are. You know, just adding in that little bit of detail. Nothing too much really. Let's have a look around here. I don't think there was any more structural work over this end. No, just trees, foliage, enrichment items. You know, just getting some little bushes and things put around. Nothing too much. Didn't want it to look crowded. Oh look, sleeping elephant. Oh, lovely. And yeah, just more trees around here. Yeah, just mixing it up with the trees. You know, they're all oak trees, but you've got 3 different sizes, all you know, rotated differently and whatever. So that's it. It's a pretty simple habitat really, but that's all it needed to be, and that's what this zoo is all about. It's not about creating extraordinary looking habitats. It's all about just giving the animals a natural environment to survive and to live and hopefully be happy in. Which is what a lot of zoos do these days. It's all about the animal. It's not about the interaction with the humans. It's about giving the animal what they need to be happy. And if that means giving them a habitat where the animal can hide from the humans, then so be it. That's what will happen. That's why we have zoos. Zoos are not there for our pleasure. They're there for the animal's well-being. Some people may agree with that, some people may disagree. That is entirely your prerogative, but that is always going to be my opinion, is that the zoos are there to protect the animals, and in the majority of cases it's to help conserve the species of whatever animal it is as well. I'm a big believer in us helping the animals. I mean, we spend most of our time destroying the planet and killing animals, so whatever we can do to help them out and help them to breed and successfully integrate them back into the wild is only going to be a good thing, isn't it? So there we go. That's my thoughts on the matter. So that is our elephant habitat complete. I hope you like it. It's, like I say, very simple. I appreciate that not too much has gone into it really, but that is what this zoo is. If it's not your thing, that's fine. I've got other zoo series which are about structures and more foliage based and all that sort of thing. You know, there's a lot more going on in some of my other zoo series. So if big natural habitats isn't your thing, then maybe go and check out some of my other zoo series. And obviously many other people do many zoo series as well, and most of them tend to be more of the structure based zoos, whereas this particular one I'm just making some lovely big habitats. However, in my next episode, I can give you a spoiler for my next episode. My next episode is purely about buildings, and it is filling in these gaps here between my paths. I've done it already. I can tell you I'm very happy with the result, and basically it's filling in each of these gaps with restaurants and cafes and toilets. So that is going to be my next episode, and that is all I'm going to tell you about it. So until I come back again with another episode, thank you very much for joining me. I do hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please do hit the like button. It really helps out getting the video out to more people, which is it's good for all of us, isn't it, to share the love we have for this amazing game. So thank you very much for joining me. Hopefully I will see you again soon. Until then, take care. Bye for now.